Welcome back to the S&T podcast. This week we'll be starting off with USC at Oregon, 2:30 game in Eugene. So playoff implications for mainly for USC. I'd say Oregon. It's also important for Oregon more to make it into the Big Ten championship than anything. So going to be an interesting one. Both teams fresh off a recent win over Iowa. Oregon won last second, 18-16, and USC only winning by 5 last week, 26-21. So going to be, I think, a close one. Similar teams, probably going to be a little more high scoring than when they played Iowa, but you never know. Might be a little chilly going up to Oregon. I'm not sure what the weather's like up there, but I think it'll be a good one. I'm gonna, excited that we're getting into more playoff implication kind of games. So without further ado, I'll send it over to Cezanne.
Thank you for that great intro there, Tom. Yes, we have a very good matchup this weekend coming up. We have the Oregon Ducks at home hosting the USC Trojans. So, like you said, this game still has some playoff implications, Big Ten championship implications as well. But I think we do kind of understand who's going to be in the Big Ten championship at this point is pretty much going to be Ohio State and Indiana. So anybody else out of the Big Ten is looking for an at-large bid. That includes Oregon, that includes USC, and also Michigan. Michigan is still there as well. I know we forget about them sometimes. Yes, Michigan is still quietly winning games each and every week, including a last-second field goal against Northwestern last week. But anyway, they're still there as well. So when it comes to that at-large bid for the Big Ten, this is going to be one of the deciding games in the last few weeks. So Oregon plays USC this week, and then they have Washington next week. So Oregon is still not out of the weeds just yet. They beat Iowa. They took care of Iowa just barely. But I still think that if they were to lose both of these games here, USC and Washington, that would keep them out because that would be 3 losses and a 3-loss Big Ten team. I just don't see it. So Oregon's still on alert. They still need to win these games. They at least have to win one of them. They can maybe drop one here, this one or the one next week and still make it. But if they lose both of them, I think they are in trouble. So they still need to be on point. They still need to show up and play these games. They got USC at home this week, so I think they're going to have the advantage there. Oregon's looking pretty good. That game against Iowa, they weren't like flashy or anything, but Oregon just proved that they could go toe to toe with a team that is just a dirty, gritty team that's just going to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. They're going to play defense. They're going to hit you hard. That those kind of games that are decided in the trenches. Oregon showed up and showed that they could play a game like that and come out with a win. So it was really good to see that from them, that they can win different types of ways. This game against USC is going to be more of their traditional type, air it out, big plays, not too much defense, opportunistic defense, scenarios here and there that are going to decide the game. So give me Oregon in this game, but I do think USC is going to come in and give them their best shot. USC still has a lot to play for on their side as well. They're still alive for the playoff. They only have 2 losses. And if USC was to win out at this point, it's getting really tight because there's going to be a lot of 10-2 teams at the end of the year. There's going to be 10-2 teams out of the Big Ten, out of the ACC, out of the SEC. So there's going to be a lot of debate and discussion when it comes to the playoff in the end. But I think a 10-2 USC team does make it. I think at 10-2 out of the Big Ten, that's good enough. So if they win this game against Oregon and they win next week as well, I do think USC is going to be in that picture. So they still have everything in front of them. They still control their destiny. USC is going to come in and they're going to give Oregon their best shot. So this is not a game that Oregon can sleepwalk through at all. They cannot let up. They cannot turn the ball over because USC will take advantage of that and they will send the Ducks packing. So give me Oregon. I think it'll be a relatively high scoring game, not nothing too crazy because, Oregon can still play defense. USC can still play defense at times. So I think it'll be like a 21-17 type game, something like that. But I think Oregon will come out with the win. I think they're just a better team. And unfortunately for the Trojans, that will mean that their season is over with their 3rd loss. So USC needs to win this to stay alive. It's win or go home for them. But We still need to see what the playoff rankings will be coming up this Tuesday night. The playoff rankings will be released, so I think both of these teams will move up a little bit. But right now, as it stands, number 8 versus number 17. I can't wait to see. It's going to be a good one. But what do you think about this one, Tom? What do you have?
Yeah, you covered quite a few bases there, but yeah, pretty sound analysis, I would say. Like you said, I mean, USC is down to their last breath. They're fighting and clawing for any chance at a playoff spot. Otherwise, they'll probably just be in that first little group of four teams out at sitting at 9-3. And yeah, I mean, USC, they play UCLA next week, so if USC does beat Oregon, UCLA would be looking to play spoiler, but I don't see that happening if USC can beat Oregon. And I'm not sure that USC will be able to beat Oregon. I liked what you said about their defense. Oregon can still play defense. It's not like they got a bunch of nobodies out there on defense. Not the old Pac-12 style, because they've had to adjust now that they're in the Big Ten. So both sides have had to beef up being in the Big Ten, get some more big boys, be able to try and run the ball more, and especially on defense, have some guys that fly around a little bit more, hit a little harder, bigger guys, to combat the Iowas and the Michigans and stuff like that. So, going to be an interesting end to the season. But yeah, kind of like you said, I think it might be a little more high scoring just because I think USC is going to be just scrapping and clawing the entire game. And I feel like if Oregon gets a lead, they might try and coast out in the second half, and then, next thing you know, it's the fourth quarter and USC's only down 10 and they get the ball back, stuff like that, kind of like what you were saying with opportunistic defense. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, you kind of covered all the bases really with this one because Oregon is good on defense, USC opportunistic on defense. Both gonna be probably airing it out unless it's a cold, rainy day in Eugene. That could change everything. And again, I haven't checked the weather at all, but it is getting towards that time of year up in the Pacific Northwest that it might be some crappy weather, but we'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be a good one. And yeah, if USC wins out, they still only finish with one loss in the Big Ten, and that would be one where they look back to at Illinois, it was at Illinois. They lost 34-32, which I'm sure USC fans are sick about that. Can't really be mad about losing to Notre Dame by 10. Notre Dame's a good team, and that was a big game for both teams there because Notre Dame, that kind of shot Notre Dame back on the up and up. And USC kind of woke them up, I think, a little bit more where, after that Notre Dame loss, that was their second loss, and they really had to lock in and focus. But going to be a good game. Looking forward to it. But really, that's all I got, unless you got anything else.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and peace.